Hi, it's Scott from Beyond the Numbers, and today I just want to talk to small business owners, just coming up with a simple cash flow system to help your business, especially comes tax time, whether it's to your GST or to pay your income tax at the end of the year. That it's when working with small businesses, that's a warning sign that a business has a cash flow problem, that they're struggling to pay their BAS or to pay their income tax, and they're not getting a surprise at the end of the year. So a really good book that I'd recommend, who talks about this from a non-accountant perspective, so you probably prefer it than the way that I explain it, is Profit First by Mike Michalowicz. There's also some really good podcasts to listen to as well. So the way that this system works is really just goes back to like the old envelope system that we had, well, if you're old like me, but you know, you'd get your money and then you'd put a little bit in for groceries, you put a bit in for your fuel and that sort of stuff. And that's really bringing small businesses back to that, and just having a simple system so that they're putting money aside. And in this day and age with banks, it's so easy to have so many different accounts open. So in this system, for every time you, not every time you receive money, maybe once a fortnight, once you receive, get your sales in, you then split that up and then put that into different accounts. So Warren Buffett says, I'm going to paraphrase here, it's better to save and then spend, not save after you spend. And this is what this system does. So you work out how much, let's say you get $100 in, and we're going to use, say, percent. So then you work out how much you need to split over these different things. So in my business, I'm going to put, say, 10% in for profit. And then I work out my tax and my super, so including your GST and that sort of stuff. And that is roughly around, I think it's around 35% I need to put aside. My expenses, I put 20% aside, so 55, 65. And so then I put 35% is my wages, and so I split those up into those different categories. So when I come to the end of the year, when it comes to super, to the end of the quarter, I have the money set aside. My business is very low capital, so I don't use much capital. If you're a business that has inventory and stuff, you're going to have different percentages. So always recommend, your goal might be 10% for your profit, but if you're not 10% at the moment, you might want to start at 1%. So putting 1% aside. One of the things that I learned very early on in my career as an accountant is that it's not how much money that you got coming in, it's how much that you actually save. And one of my first jobs was doing tax returns, and people would come in, and sometimes people would be earning $200,000 a year, which was a lot of money back in the 90s. You could have bought a couple of houses in Townsville at that point in time for 200 grand. And they would have no savings, no investments, nothing. Where someone else would come in with 30,000, and they would have quite a lot of money in savings and stuff. And that's because they're saving where they're at. So as you grow and you continue saving that same percentage, you're going to build up more your savings. So it's all about developing a habit. So your expenses might be actually 70%. Because you might have your gross profit might be at 50%, so you're going to need more, and then your wages might be at, say, 20%, and your tax and super at 10%. Oh, what do we got? Let's change this to to 5%, and then you want to put 5% or 4%. Sorry, I should have worked these figures out. You want to do 4% for your capital, so that you're covering enough to buy machinery or cars or all that sort of stuff. And so you're putting each fortnight, you're putting this amount of money into different accounts, and then you're not touching, especially the tax and the profit, you're not touching that until it's absolutely necessary. And so with the profit, you might take a percentage out every quarter or every 6 months, and that's your bonus, and that's your reward for what you're doing. But I've seen this work in businesses where the people have struggled and had had problems paying their tax, but switching over to this system, it gives them a lot more peace of mind, and they don't mind going to their accountant. So that's all for this week, and I hope this helps you have a simple cash flow system.